YouTube, this is Bayu here. I guess by now you know that I don't talk BS and I keep ahead of everybody just a little bit, maybe a day, maybe 12 hours or 18 hours, but that's the name of the game. Stay ahead of the peasantry, and I'm glad that you're following me. Okay, I want you to understand what took place in Mexico. I think it was this morning, Monday morning. The president of Mexico, Andres Manuel López Obrador, briefed the Mexicans every day for about an hour. And it is called the Mañaneras. And the opposition newspapers and TVs and the parties are basically raging because he's changing the country for better. Okay? Socialist. American socialist. I'm not saying U.S. socialist, but saying American. Remember, America is America from Alaska all the way down to Tierra del Fuego. I know some people want to call America only to the U.S. of A, but that's not true. America is America. And the name comes from Amerigo Vespucci, the first cartographer that drew the star that came with the Spaniards. Okay, history lesson. I know some of you don't like history. That's why we found history all the time. Okay, but this is something that he said, and I heard that it blew me off the water. First of all, they have $150 billion in a safety rainy fund. Wow! Texas only have about, $30 billion rainy fund, and all of a sudden he tells the whole Mexican, hey, we got this. And we have a pre-signed or pre-agreed loan credit. I'm not into economics, so I don't know the right terminology, guys, okay? But Mexico has a pre-agreement with the IMF for $8 to $10 billion for the emergency. What's emergency now, guys? Okay, stay with me, please. All of a sudden, one of the news, I got one of my commanders got this video over here from this person that I'm going to tell Pancho because my producer doesn't do cut and paste. We're kind of old a little bit, and that's kind of difficult. But I'm going to tell Pancho, I sent him an email to push that. And then I went and saw this presentation that he has. I want you to understand one thing. This is in Mexico because political, because he is still going outside, shaking hands, embracing people, especially ladies, middle-aged ladies, because they put him in there after over 80 years of the right, destroying Mexico and making Mexico a mess. He has revived the nation in less than 2 years to the point that the U.S. ambassador was talking crap and a half, and now he was forced to say, hey, you want to deal with our oil, you deal with it. The National Company of Petroleum, Pemex, is back again to be on the top five. Top five, guys, when it was a certified, registered POS. Again, you have to understand all the political things. Now, what have to do with the Covarrubias in China? China's are basically taking control. China doesn't have any more contamination. And now China has sent a team of people first to Iran, Persia, and has sent another group of people to Italy. So if the situation in China was so bad, how can they send 20 doctors to Iran and 30 doctors to Italy? But something in the news also was a very brief deal about the Cubans sending a contingency plan to Venezuela because the Cuba has been trained by the Chinese doctor. And another little big news that has blew me off the water because how the hell my competitor, the Mexican, keep up with international news better than the Russians, better than the Iranians, not even count the U.S., better than the Germans, better than the Argentinians. The IMF, guys, has given a credit to Iran of $5 billion to take care of this emergency. What do you know? The last time the IMF has dealing with Iran was in 1965. I said again slowly. The last time the IMF made a loan to Iran was 1965. So guys, now we understand the whole game. And this compadre right here is very sharp. He speaks very, very fast Spanish. I'm going to put the link. No, I don't. I'm going to tell Pancho to put the link. And I want you to study the links that's going to be under him. I'm going to put it on, well, I'm going to tell him to put it on the front. And then if you want to see the video, because in Spanish, I know some of you get upset. Oh, Spanish. Oh, foreign language. To fall apart. That's not the case. You have to learn. You have to learn that the world, English is not the first, second, or third language in the world. Believe it or not, Spanish is the second. Well, that's geography. It specifically boils down about the Japanese TV saying that this virus came from the US, point blank, and having the video of the CDC chair, the CDC head honcho, giving testimony to the U.S. Congress. This is something that started. You remember the loose end that I told you in my last video? Now it's start getting together. It was put together by a Mexican guy, believe it or not. I'm surprised, but not stupid surprised. But I'm surprised that all these loose hands have been put by this guy. I mean, it's one single person, like myself, like yourself, that put the link together, and he has a view of the world like he follow all the news. Read all the links that I'm going to tell Pancho to put, and then look at his video in detail, and look at the English part of the video, because he has some links in the video, okay? I don't make money on YouTube, so don't think that I'm going to make any money. I don't qualify because I don't have too many subscribers. But those who subscribers that follow me from day one, they understand where I come from. Money is not my main purpose. That's what I keep saying. If you want to throw a few dollars to my producer, she would appreciate it, because she's the one doing all the work. And Pancho too. I want you to read the links, guys, especially these coming from the npeople.ca, which is a newspaper in China that writes in English and talk about the Japanese TV and all the information and the number of U.S. citizens that die, 14,000 under the influence. Remember the problem with the deaths of the smokeless cigarettes? Now we have the connection, guys. Now we have the connection. The smokeless cigarettes, pneumonia, and the according to the CDC, they don't have the force or the money to do a post-mortem investigation on that. Especially those who die with influenza, that now we know that it's not influenza, it was the beginning of the coronavirus here in the US of A. Once again, if you're new, and you're new to me watching the videos, I always put a stuff for you to track, and if you follow the videos in time, you know that I keep ahead of the mess. Argentina is closed, Ecuador is closed, Canada is closed, Russia is closed, so the panic is overtaking the whole world. Ecuador is one of the first countries in Latin America that the people from one province cannot move to another province. You have a mess over there, and the problem with the Ecuadorian people is they don't take crap, and then the president now is have water again. Remember the South American problem that started last year, and the Indians enforced the government to drop the stuff on the overprice of gas, and the government overcharging taxes on gasoline, petroleum, and the fuel for cooking. It went to pieces because the country went almost civil war. There were like about 17 people. The army was fighting the police was fighting the army was fighting the people. I mean, completely disintegration. Luckily, as soon as the president took all this idiocy pushed by the IMF, everything went normal. So now you can see why people talk about the IMF as being the evil person or group that handles our government leaders about the money. So the only thing that I want you to get at this minute is finally the IMF from 1965 has given around $5 billion as purchasing special emergency money to fight this. How convenient. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I hope it wasn't too long. Follow the leads one at a time, and put this guy in there all the video, because you're gonna see a lot of stuff in English, even though he talks Spanish very fast. But that's how you get information, guys. Don't expect the U.S. prostitute to tell you like it is, because that's not what they get paid for. This is why the people to be calling U.S. prostitutes, but because as the lady in the business, when you pay them, they give you action or they give you something. The U.S. press is the same. If you don't pay them, they don't give you anything. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my new subscriber. Now I got 2 more. Watch those links, read those reports in English, and understand the whole process. Talk to you later. Bye.